Do you want to wait, or?
Yeah, we don't have to start at 1:00.
Somebody's coming down right now.
Hey, welcome everybody. We have our meeting for June 9th, our first trial meeting in the afternoon of the Economic Development Commission. Do you have a roll call, Tony?
Jerry Cabasco,
Here.
Kirsten Erickson, Robert Perry, Bruce Suffern, Mary Smith for the Chamber, Adam Lewinsky, Bob Gorski, Mike Densford.
Here.
Okay, thank you all for coming to the inaugural 1 p.m. EDC meeting.
The next item on the agenda would be the approval of the previous meeting's minutes of May 12th, 2025. Any board members have a discussion on this or wish to make a motion to approve?
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Motion by Commissioner Densford carries. Move on to the next agenda item, which will be public comment. I'm not hearing anything, so we'll move on to the next agenda item, which will be development update.
Thank you.
Take us through that.
So thank you, Chairman Cabasco. We do this every so often. We bring up kind of a general overview of some of the new projects and developments that we've been working on. I know there's a lot of meetings here where sometimes we have to be vague, or we'll say something like we're working with a couple restaurants. Of course, there's a lot of projects we work on that don't move forward. Sometimes they're not approved, and you know, we do what we can to keep the economic development of the village moving. We review it early every year where we talk about the performance indicators, and here's what the vacancy rate is, and here's some new businesses, and here's what the sales tax is and the employee count. And in between those reports, a lot goes, you know, a lot transpires in between. This isn't everything, but this is some of the big things that you'll see coming soon. So the first one that we're happy to tell you a little bit about got approved at the village board meeting last week. This is a project that we just all call TLE, which stands for the learning experience, is the anchor tenant of what's going to be developed on this 3.8-ish acre parcel at the southwest corner of Devon and Prospect. Like me and Scott, you've all seen this land remain undeveloped for many years or even really decades. I didn't put every point from the staff report in there, but it has been zoned commercial for over 40 years. And actually, even way back in the late 80s, there was a single large building approved there, like in the 30,000-ish square foot range. 9 years ago, if you recall, there was a wedding venue that was interested in locating over there. And so the owner of this property, we've kept in touch with. We have a report Christy Stone did earlier in the year, and I'm always keeping my eye on, called the Infill Development Report. This is your classic infill site, an undeveloped lot adjacent to the downtown, surrounded by residential. So anyway, it's been Zone B3 for over 40 years. It's owned by a very active developer. And the anchor business, as I mentioned, this is a site plan, okay? This is, there's a lot more information on the application, but this gives you a kind of general overview where you see on the western edge of the property the daycare facility, and then you see a couple of buildings, basically strip retail with a possibility of another restaurant. So additional approvals include a drive-through and a restaurant with liquor. Could be one and the same, could be different. When somebody markets, let's say that strip center space you see that's up near the corner of Devon and Prospect, you know, it would be more attractive to quick casual food users if it has that drive-through that you see over there. So it could end up being a coffee type of use or just sandwich shop or anything really that wants to utilize a drive-through. So again, this is the land use and site plan approval that happened last week. It's not the building permit approvals. It's not full engineering. Bartlett does require most of that to be submitted at the time of going through the special use process. So if I had to hazard a guess, the developers, like I said, it's somebody named Anthony DeAngelis, and he has a big firm called Intercontinental Equities. He's built all kinds of residential subdivisions and shopping centers and everything. So if I had to hazard a guess, he'd be moving pretty quickly to get the permits. Also, one more thing I'm going to mention about it before we move on. It'll be a phased development. You're not going to see everything built at once. Really, the business driving this deal is the learning experience. So that's what's going to get built first. And it might be a period of the next year or years that you see it getting built. But again, it's new, it's exciting. There hasn't been a lot of new commercial built, particularly around the downtown area, for quite a long time. So this is another coming soon. We'll talk about it again. If I had to guess, again, just an educated guess from doing this a long time, that it'll be a pretty desirable center, something nice and new built over there. It's on the DuPage side of the street, and I'm going to guess that it's going to fill up, you know, relatively quickly. So I'll move on from that. This is right across the street. You all recall years ago when Rebecca's Cakes moved from a small location in Main Street Plaza in the rear basement, moved into town center, operated a bakery for a few years. Unfortunately, it closed last year. And we've been pushing that site pretty hard. We've been putting it in email blasts and had a few inquiries over the past year on it. And we're pleased to tell you all I was going to say tonight at 1 p.m. today, that a business that we've worked with very closely and we know well has leased the space. They're going to open a bakery and a cafe called Miga's over there. They had 2 of their inspections that they passed Friday. I asked one of the building inspectors today. They're very close to passing final inspection. And again, just guessing, by the next time we meet, there'll probably be baked goods for sale across the street and strong Venezuelan coffee. I've asked them to describe the coffee. If you like strong coffee, that's going to be a good spot. So again, right across the street in Bartlett Town Center. Another new restaurant coming. This is another one of these ones I've alluded to probably for the last 3 or 4 months. Not this particular restaurant. This is actually going to share with you the fourth potential restaurant that I've worked with to fill the space that used to be Wheaties in Westgate Commons. And then it was a video gambling cafe for probably about a year and a half after that. It's been vacant, I would, again, estimate maybe a year or so. And there's been a number of different types of restaurants that looked at it and negotiated for it and quite frankly was very close to it. But this lease is signed. It's going to be a place with some wood-fired pizza and Italian food. We all know that we have other places in the village that offer that. This is going to be a little different than those and maybe more closely resemble what we describe as one of those kind of quick casual types of settings. Don't really know them really well, but we're looking forward to working with them to fill that space. It's a great center, and there's another business coming to Westgate Commons, an animal hospital called New Leaf Animal Hospital. There used to be an animal hospital in Westgate Commons when it first opened. It was called Westgate Veterinarian. They relocated to Stearns and 59 over in Bartlett Commons, and that's the same business that renamed the Whole Pet. So it's those folks originally opened in Westgate Commons many years ago. So again, filling 2 spaces in Westgate Commons in the coming months. We'll urge them to participate with the chamber. For the chamber reps here, everybody wants to do the ribbon cuttings and the after hours and the open houses, and we always tell them that's the best way to get integrated into the village, relatively quickly. Of course. This is another one of the restaurants. Again, I've alluded to another restaurant coming soon. I don't want to always describe it this way, but Dos Bros is like Chipotle. It's Tex-Mex, quick, casual food where you go down the assembly line, so to speak, and you get a bowl or a burrito or tacos, and you specify the shells and the meats and the toppings. Galleria is that, might be the latest retail strip that was built in the village. I'm not sure. Yeah, about 4 years ago, I'm guessing. There's some very good restaurants there. Of course, Beef Shack was the first one that came in, and then Atlas Chicken came in a year or 2 ago. So it's going to have 3 really good restaurants. Also, Atlas Chicken is adding a Detroit-style pizza concept to their business. So you'll be able to get great Italian beef there, burgers, chicken sandwiches, pizza, burritos, bowls. That's going to be a good place for hungry residents and people in that area to go to. So again, when I mention we're working with a few restaurants, I kind of always say that these are some of them that are coming to fruition. I'm going to move on, unless there's any questions. Okay. Again, earlier this year, I went through the whole industrial vacancy thing, and I think that was either in February or March. Said that there wasn't any industrial vacancy. It went from like 1% to 3%, and it went maybe to 3% because of this one building that's about 170-ish thousand square feet. You can't miss it when you're driving up and down Route 25. It's the fanciest and biggest new building you see in that business park. Also said that, yes, industrial in Bartlett, this happens to be in Kane County, but in the whole area, in the whole Chicago market, really, it's still really hot. You've all seen how Brewster Creek has attracted so much business and investment, and now Blue Heron Business Park. So this just transpired last month in May. ITW is a huge company. I looked up how big exactly. It's in the Fortune 300. ITW stands for Illinois Tool Works, so it's It's a large, multi-billion-dollar publicly traded company. They've, I had the pleasure of working with them and their broker all the way back before 2011 for a building in the industrial park that was built, I think 270-ish thousand square feet that they leased, and they have a production facility. I haven't visited it since about 2011, but they make stuff like screws and clamps and all kinds of things that they distribute. What they told me at the time when they opened was this was going to be their distribution center from here to the Rockies for Home Depot, Lowe's. Lowe's has contracted somewhat since that time, and other home goods type of stores. I don't know if they service Ace or not, but, and they do a lot of business to business. Anyway, ITW is a huge company, and this 61,000 square foot that they've leased is not for production. It's for professionals with some professional staff. So far, I've been just told secondhand, some engineers will be working out of there, about 50 jobs. So I believe it says in my memo, I think it leaves 105,000 square feet. Yeah, it's a 166,000 square foot building, so it leaves about 105,000 square feet. It's got great brokers, so it's not something that's going to sit empty for too long. I'll probably be telling you about it in a few months, the next one coming to that space. So that is kind of a down and dirty, quick 15-minute development update. If you guys have any questions or comments about it, I'd be happy to answer or try to answer.
Are any of the people that are opening the restaurants or the daycare, are any of them Bartlett residents or anything?
The Dos Bros, well, you know what? Issa's has some of their family lives in Bartlett. With the restaurant, I'm going to definitely say I don't know. I know there's a location they have in Schaumburg, and whether or not it's somebody who lives in that area or this area or somewhere else altogether. And then the gentleman with Dos Bros lives very close by. I think he lives somewhere like along, I don't ask them exactly their address. Sometimes I do ask them, or they just tell me. He lives in that area between like Bartlett and Carroll Stream, kind of along that Army Trail area. And those are the two towns he was looking at to open this. It's always nice when, I can tell the EDC, it's always nice when somebody picks Bartlett over another community, so, yeah. And we'll get to know them better over the months and years, I'm sure. A very friendly, very upbeat guy. It's a franchise, and he's got, I can't remember the exact number. When I first met with them, I think they had 2 or 3 of them. I think they have a franchise agreement to do 5. This might be the 5th one.
And that's for Dos Bros?
Dos Bros. Honestly, nothing since last month. We're still hopeful that something gets built over there, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's about to get started. Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to mention one thing. First of all, thank you for moving to 1 o'clock. That's a real nice treat, so we're appreciative of that. And I know we've had discussions about getting more encouragement and more involvement. That has not fallen on deaf ears, and that is being worked on.
Thanks.
If that concludes our update discussion, we can move on to downtown streetscape improvements. Tony?
Yes, thanks, Jerry. I know you all know that I love walking the downtown, and Scott does, and I see a lot of you around here, and most of you have businesses or interests downtown. And so you've seen all the construction equipment, you've heard drilling, you've seen a lot of backhoes, you've seen a lot of digging, and basically every day, every weekday that I'm here, I've seen it. I've filmed some of it, I've taken pictures, and I just knew, as economic development staff, I knew just kind of the general project that they're improving the downtown. They're updating the streetscape. This is a little bit more detailed because we thought it would be important for you all to know about it and also how it pertains to economic development and branding and stuff like that. So it started April 1st, so we've already been seeing this for April and May. I spoke with the village engineer today who told me, so I'm quoting him, not me. He still thinks it's on track to be completed by the end of the year. The contractors, the names that you see on a lot of the stuff out there is Burke, who does so many projects like this, like almost all of them really, and Martam Construction. Martam. This is a large ticket item. This is over $2.5 million project to improve the streetscape of the downtown area. It's creating a more pedestrian-friendly and comfortable, attractive setting. This isn't comprehensive list today of everything it is, but you can see it's new sidewalks. There were new sidewalks I looked at today by the train station, native landscaping, seating, and a word that I learned last week when Scott and Trustee Gansey were on the radio, a runnel, which is like a small tunnel, a small water feature. The project is well underway, obviously, you know all that, with the excavation, the electric work, and the new sidewalks. Again, as a frequent pedestrian, I'm appreciative of new sidewalks. I say work is proceeding daily here, landscaping work. This is, by the way, there's a dedicated website, or a portion of the Public Works website is dedicated to this. I like taking little videos sometimes when I'm going. I mean, you all see what it is. It's people digging up sidewalk and excavating. Right now, what's going on this week is sidewalk repair in front of Moore Brewing, State Farm, McClure, and Valcon is, well, he said tentatively scheduled to begin this week. But that's kind of where we are. I know with Commissioner Suffern has a front row view to this. Probably every day he sees and hears it. And I've had a few downtown businesses call me about it and ask those basic questions. What's going on? When's it going to be done? A project like this is not, much like the new parking lot that was built between Banbury Fair and Moore Brewing. I mean, we'd like it if it could happen overnight, but something of this magnitude and size and scope takes a while. So I think, I know it's going to look beautiful when it's done, and I think it'll be exciting for us to keep watching the progression of it over the coming months.
In addition to Tony's slides, there's going to be new electronic signage. I got to see some of the proposals. It's going to look beautiful. And then also, there's going to be, if you look to the right, just in the town center, there's going to be uplighting on all the trees. That'll be able to change colors too, so it's going to be really nice.
Yeah, when I generically refer to businesses, it's been town center built, businesses mostly asking, obviously. You can see the whole front of town center is basically torn up right now. But again, you can see this map, by the way, is on the village website. If somebody you speak with asks you questions and you don't know the exact answer, of course, we always offer, send them to Scott. I say send them to Scott for that, send it to me. The village engineer's happy to answer any questions about it, but this is right from the village website, and you can see that, and what I've been telling them in the town center is a lot of the most extensive work and upgrades and improvements are going to be kind of right outside their front window. That's where the water feature is going to be located. And I forgot about the lighting even that Scott just mentioned. So it's going to be beautiful. I put in the memo some of the benefits of it. But I mean, I think you all know what it is going to make the downtown more beautiful, more inviting, more attractive. We speak with potential investors last month, and we told them about the downtown improvements. They seemed impressed with it, you know. So, I mean, it's something that's going to lift property values in this area. We assume that all the businesses that are kind of in this central downtown area would be appreciative of that. And it's going to make it more inviting. And I mentioned in the memo that, you know, we'll look at ways to tie it into our branding for sure. We're going to get some really nice photos of it, some of the water feature of it lit up. It's going to be beautiful. It'll probably be some of the main some of the branding images that we use in the next phase of our branding. So I'm excited about it. I kind of already went over the benefits. You know, I was reading all morning about economic benefits of improved downtown streetscape, and they're like you said, it advances a sense of place, enhances community pride, it reinforces our Belong in Bartlett brand. It's pretty exciting. Like I said, it's a big project. So every time we meet here, it should look a little bit less torn up and a little bit better.
Any artistic renderings available to show what it looks like?
Artistic renderings?
Yeah.
I'll look around, see if I can find some. I didn't see them in the board packet, but I would imagine there are some.
Must be something that envisions what it's going to look like.
I think that's a good idea. I think even for some social media posts. Like I said, that's why I like taking these pictures as I go, as I walk through the downtown, and you know, I just put 2 in here, but there's a lot, you know, I have others, and it's always kind of cool to see the way it proceeds.
I was thinking that usually on a project like this, somebody does some kind of
Yeah, there's a couple. We'll send them on.
work, okay. Kind of see what it's going to look like, get more excited about it.
Sure thing.
Okay, that ends our discussion
I have a
on,
quick question. How much of the project budget is town center?
Oh, Bruce, I don't have the answer. I don't have the answer. It's not broken down in that way. There is a budget for it. I had a budget document, but it's very general. It'll say sidewalks.
I think it's just like a hair under 3 million.
Is that?
It's a hair under 3 million, I believe, but I have to confirm that. Also, a part of that funding is a grant from Metro that we capitalized on. So it's more than just, if Tony goes back to that.
Yeah,
map,
that's the
yeah.
whole, I'm sorry, the map you wanted.
Yeah, if you look up to the north, Metro's helping a lot on that, so
Yeah.
I hope that answers your question.
Right. I thought you meant maybe town center specific, because I think of that building as town center. The whole project as a whole is about 2.8 million.
And I'm just curious, a project like this must be driven by something. So was it driven?
The sidewalks
Sidewalk?
not in great shape, could use some smoothing out. So we found a sidewalk that is aesthetically pleasing and more maintenance friendly on staff, so that way the bricks aren't coming up, the snow removal's easier, people are walking smoother. In addition to that, the fountain was breaking down. I mean, it was just becoming a eyesore that we were putting Band-Aids on. That needs a permanent fix. And also, too, as you know better than pretty much mostly anybody, the private investment in the downtown is increasing, so more and more people are going to be coming and making the downtown streetscape a little walker-friendly and more attractive. I think will further spur development in the downtown.
Any plans for something like an event venue to attract more people down here?
In terms of an event venue, I know that a lot of that will fall under the purview of the Park District for things of that nature. But in terms of our downtown specifically, there's going to be even some more major shifting in the way the downtown looks for when Metro's looking at consolidating that platform. So some of those parking lots are going to look a lot different. So there's a lot of shifting to occur over the next year or so, I think, before something like that happens.
I was just thinking something that, some kind of events that could be held like on the weekends to, right in the middle of town there where get more foot traffic in here, more interest.
I was thinking the same thing. It's something to bring people down to view. I mean, I lived in Bartlett for 12 years, and the most looking around, and I'm excited about it, but the most looking around downtown I do is from my car into a business. So it'd be nice to, I know it's not on the village, maybe the chamber can push something downtown with a festival or something, especially in the summertime, to really show off the project.
That's a good idea.
The Park District had looked at some things. They had considered looking at Leisburg Park. There was consideration of Leisburg Park having a band shell in one of their improvements. So that's like a long-range thing that they're looking at. But, you know, the consideration of their splash pad that's there. So there are things the Park District is considering for their improvements. It's hard though. I mean, in reality, I mean, the chamber does do a festival. We do need the Lions and the Rotary to help us with it for Oktoberfest, and that's only a day and a half, and it's a lot of risk with very little reward to it, and it's a very, very huge undertaking, and we rely on a lot of our partners and a lot of our relationships to get that to go off. So it's a hard thing. It seems easy to throw a party. Yeah, it seems like it's an easy thing to throw a quick little party together, but just looking at the insurance and the liabilities and things like that, it becomes a lot. It would be nice, and it's definitely something to always consider of how we could do it. You know, we do some small little things that we maybe could consider bringing back, like we did that thing at the Streets of Bartlett where we did the little cart thing. We went around to the different places. There's the Cocoa Crawl that's done. You know, maybe, maybe there's more things that we could explore, like with the Cocoa Crawl where it's in the springtime or the summer or something like that. But it's hard because it's so few people want to do it, but everyone wants to go to it, you know. So, but definitely it's.
So we have 10 years of precedent with Bartlett Heritage Days, which I oversaw for those 10 years, with the Arts in Bartlett helping and a couple of other organizations helping. Pandemic happened, and always a little bit of a pushback of having anything downtown. So people will either raise the issue of safety with the railroad as a reason to not do anything, regardless of the fact that there never was an incident for the 10 years that we had vendors on both sides of the tracks. We have a perfect location in downtown. It's all empty parking lots.
Yeah, it's good. I think
And it's all lit, but we don't use it. And there's always an excuse why not to use it. And so my days are done. So don't have to worry about me.
It's hard.
We'll think about you, we just won't worry about it.
That's it, yeah. I'm excited. I think it's gonna look nice. I just hope there's something that makes people just enjoy it and appreciate it than just walk past it.
Yeah, the little bit of the problem with the town center is parking. You know, there just isn't a lot of parking right there in front of that park. And so that's the feedback I've heard from customers when I encourage, when they go, well, where can I go for a walk with my kids or go? I'll direct them to Bartlett Park.
Yeah.
You know, perhaps things will change, but the fact that there isn't a lot of parking there just handicaps it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, all the sidewalks need repair. I mean, all the way down Railroad Avenue.
Just all the way through Bartlett. You guys have it going on.
Whoever sold the village on that concept with the bricks and then walked away, got away with something. 'Cause it seems like they're universally sinking everywhere. You ever try to ride your bicycle over those bricks? Good luck.
Are the sidewalks decorative, the new ones they're putting in? It's like stamped concrete, or is it just?
There'll be standard sidewalks, but there'll be ribbon, like thick ribbon on each side of the sidewalks. If you look where More Brewing is, right in front of there, the village did kind of a sample sidewalk to see what it would look like in like real life and maintenance and stuff like that. So if you're driving or walking by More Brewing, it's gonna look a lot like that. That's what a lot of towns are going to. I mean, we studied a lot of towns, Arlington Heights, those types of communities. They're looking at having maintenance free down the center, decorative ribbon on the outside.
Much easier to shovel.
Okay, we can move on to our next agenda item, new business. Is there anything we haven't covered yet?
I'll just add one thing. We entered into an agreement with A5 to continue our relationship with them. The majority of it is going to be on the TIF district on Route 20. But they're also going to continue as a part of that contract, branding guide, as well as just the general Belong in Bartlett theme. So as time goes on, probably later in this, probably early fall, you'll start to see some of those initiatives before you as well.
Thank you, Scott. Well, that brings us to adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's an end to our first trial afternoon meeting.
Yep, 1:40. Thank you.
We can all enjoy our evenings now.
Yeah, especially Tony and Scott. They don't have to hang around.
No bounce back.
So you guys.
I promise I won't, as much as I like you guys, I won't miss you. I'll be okay, I'll survive.
This is a beer.
It is, it's due. Yeah, you bet.
Was there a pond in the renderings for that Devon prospect?
Retention.
Retention.
Yeah, it was described as it would be probably very shallow.
Yeah.